Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, or in the language of the gods, but no, one of the guests, so as you can see from the screen, my name is Richard Davies, and I'm the curator of the Regimental Museum of the Royal Welsh in Brecon. You're all very welcome to come up and visit. Kettle's permanently on. And I'm joined here by my excellent colleague, Croney, who's on the front row here with me. And we're going to talk about the exhibition that the organisation I chair, the Wales and West Army Museums Network, have put together, and which will start touring very, very soon. But because you're all so pleasant and fragrant, we've decided to give you a sneak preview by bringing it here to Supply Gardens before it goes off around the region, and it's upstairs actually where we had lunch. It's on the right hand side, 8 banners there. Now I want to begin by saying a little bit more about the network I mentioned, the Wales and West Army Museum Network, and that began in 2015 with the aim of representing all the military museums within the geographic region of Wales and the west of England. So we cover the West Midlands, right down to Cornwall, and the whole of Wales. And we've got Karen from Wrexham Museum here in the audience, and Karen deals with the part of the collection and with the Royal Welsh Fusiliers. Now, I describe the group as an autonomous collective, which is a phrase I unashamedly nicked from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. But it really does describe us rather well, because we're sort of resolutely not led by anyone. We're not a charity, we're not a registered company, we're just a group of people, each representing a particular military museum and their very varied collections. We exist to work on projects that benefit the members, and so far we've managed to obtain some pretty big grants and received a lot of support from organisations like the National Army Museum in Chelsea, some of you may know that museum, and the Army Museum Ogilvy Trust, which is a group that represents all of the UK's small regimental museums. And in fact, I'm happy to say that WAM, as we call ourselves, has been used as a model for many of the other networks of military museums that now cover the entire United Kingdom. I think I might have a slide, actually. It's a bit wrong. Yes, there we are. So all of those red dots show one of the museums that is within our network. And as you can see, it's quite a large geographic area. It's not that because I'm interested in empire building or anything like that. It's not an ego trip for me. Basically, that is one of the old military districts of the UK. So the MOD divided Britain up into various military districts, and that is effectively one of them. Let's see, where are we? So anyway, we've been so successful and we've developed such a positive track record of project delivery that this has led us to being offered money to take on specific projects. This is what happened in the case of the Sporting Heritage Exhibition. We were given £5,000 by AMOT to deliver the display, and that was by Linda of the Green Howards. Linda is in the audience today as well. And we used that as seed cod funding to get a further £10,000 from the Armed Forces Community Covenant Fund. And that organisation exists to support projects that, as the name suggests, provide benefit to the Armed Forces community. And that sum, 15,000, this allowed us to appoint Catherine, which was one of our better ideas, and Catherine has produced a first-class exhibition, and I hope you spend some time having a look at it before you go. And the idea behind the display was to highlight the numerous... I'm Welsh, I can shout, it's fine. So the idea behind the display was to highlight the numerous links between the British Army and sport, by highlighting either well-known sporting figures with military connections, or really obscure sports like tug of war or bobsleigh. No offence to anybody who does either of those sports in the audience, to which the Army has made a contribution. And we've had some excellent contributions and stories from the WAM membership, and
Catherine has marshalled all of them to create something really special. I think my highlights really were, well, of course, it's the one from my museum, because we highlight the career of a guy named Charlie Faulkner. Some of you, some rugby fans, may know him because Charlie was part of the now legendary Pontypool front row, so legendary that Max Boyce actually created a song about them. Have you got an image of that? Yeah, so Charlie, is he there? No, he's not on that one. There he is. There is Charlie there. So he was the loose head prop. The arm that's around him, that very substantial arm, belongs to another very, very large human being, whose name was Bobby Windsor. I actually spoke with Charlie as part of this exhibition to get some more information about his military career. And he served as a territorial soldier with the 3rd Battalion of the Royal Regiment of Wales. And he's a lovely guy when you speak with him, he's a lovely chap. And I used to watch him as a kid terrorise tight head props in the opposition, usually English tight head props in the opposition, which was great. And my other favourite story is a cricket one, which relates to the British Army's involvement in the creation of Sydney Cricket Ground. And you wouldn't think that the British Army actually contributed to the creation of Sydney Cricket Ground, but they did. And they used, believe it or not, convicts to help them, which I suppose is further proof, if further proof's actually needed, that Australians can't really do anything without the involvement of criminals on some particular level. So Catherine obviously is, well, the idea really behind the display that you can see was to always tour the banners to major sporting venues, exactly like this one, which is why it's here, when they're hosting big matches or big events. And it's timeless, so we can put this up whenever there's a game on somewhere that will attract people, whatever sport it happens to be. Now, Catherine has worked wonders with the budget, so we've actually got 2 versions of this display. The other one is in my office as I speak, at least it was there when I left yesterday. God knows what's happened now. We've got numerous advertising leaflets. There's quite a few of them around the space now, so if you want to help yourself, they're very, very similar design to this, very fetching shade of blue. We've got new logos for our organisation as well, so logos we didn't have. We've got PowerPoint slides, so I call that pretty good value for money actually, so thank you, Catherine. And finally, turning to the subject of this segment, I thought I'd get around to answering the question. It's clear that the Army's relationship with sport is a very, very vibrant one. This will highlight certain parts of it for you. I think I've got another. Yeah, so there's this chap here, served with the Queen's Dragoon Guards, which is kind of colloquially known as the Welsh Cavalry. And he competed for Great Britain in the bobsleigh in Sarajevo in 1984, which was the Torbilantin Winter Olympics. I'm sure you're all familiar with that story. Now, the Army sees sport as a means of building morale, camaraderie and teamwork, characteristics that are clearly vital in a military context. Now, what may be less well known is some of the corresponding influences that the Army has had on sport, and our exhibition attempts to highlight a few of these. And I think this is where we as a network can help to provide an answer to the question posed by this section of the day. Many people are sports fans, I am myself, but it may be that only a small percentage of the many are aware of how the military has helped to develop sports of all kinds, and that's part of the purpose of what you can see upstairs. So thanks very much for listening, you'll come out.
Okay. Move forward, right? Yeah. Okay. Sorry, we're just doing a bit of a double act, and following on from Richard's... can you hear me, by the way? Because I don't really want to use the microphone. Is that all right? Yeah, just following on from what Richard's Monty Python line, what has the Army ever done for us? So from a sporting heritage perspective, this project showcases how important sport has been and continues to be within the Army. As Richard said, I was appointed as the project coordinator and given the budget to develop the exhibition, working with the network members. It was actually a very generous budget, I thought, and as Richard said, we got 2 duplicate banners, exhibitions, one so they could tour in the southern area of the region and in the northern area as well. And as he said, we also did the leaflets, so again, broadening the audience. So again, sport in the army has had and continues to be a huge topic, and it really asks the question, what has the army ever done for us? Well, the more I researched into this, I realised that sport has been vital for fitness and morale. It crosses the boundaries potentially between the military and civilians, and obviously going back in time, sport has been related to military training, so competitions were used to determine whether individuals were fit for service. And as you can see, many cultures worldwide have used sport for military activities. So again, going back to ancient Greece, they used the army there, the Spartans used the gymnasium for training. And here you can see at Vindolanda they found some Roman boxing gloves. So again, it was always about preparing the men for warfare. The focus was not only physical strength, but also strictness and discipline, and all key requirements for the military. So games such as boxing, football, wrestling, gladiatorial sport in Roman times all encouraged fitness and a competitive spirit, fundamental for battle. And as we know, gladiators and fighting were a spectator sport, providing entertainment and showing physical prowess to audiences. So again, you know, we love to watch people fighting and what have you in past and present. So if we go back to what our topic's about, celebrating and sharing vibrant cultures, my interpretation of this was how Army sporting heritage helps to achieve it. What I found was quite staggering whilst undertaking this project was how much the Army has been responsible for bringing together sport, military training and inspirational people to showcase to a wider audience. As Richard has talked about WAM and those regimental museums involved, it seemed that they were the key starting point for my research work to understand what those regiments contributed in terms of a rich military sporting heritage. What I did go back to was how iconic sport has been during wartime as well as in peacetime, and obviously this is the iconic football game in 1914 on the Western Front between British and German troops. So again, what has the Army ever done for us? Well, I don't know if many people realise that actually tennis was invented, so to speak, by Major Walter Clopton Wingfield. He was in the 1st Dragoon Guards here based here in Cardiff, and in the 1860s he took the game, and I don't know if anybody wants to try and pronounce it, I think it's Schweresticke or Schwerestic, and developed this into the modern lawn tennis game that we now play and see today. So again, legacy of the military. As Richard has said before, obviously the 1972 Olympic bobsleigh team were made up of military personnel from the 1st, the Queen's Dragoon Guards, and obviously Nigel Benn was he was in the Royal Regiment of Fusiliers, and obviously an illustrious career, started in the army. Who would have thought? I don't know if many people knew that Sir Alf Ramsey was a sergeant in World War II, based with the 6th Duke of Cornwall's Light Infantry. He's there in the middle, and obviously he went on to play football as well as lead the 1966 England team to win the World Cup. All again starting in the army. This was rather unusual. I had the pleasure of actually talking with Trooper Alex Smith. He is based here in Cardiff, and unusually he's a ballet dancer, and he's only 23. He started life as a ballet dancer and was walking by an army recruitment office and thought, well, I'm not going to be able to earn much living being a ballet dancer, but I'm joining the army. And he didn't actually tell his colleagues and fellow soldiers that he was a ballet dancer until quite recently, and he now performs worldwide as a dancer, and he does a lot of work, as you can see, dancing about military pieces, etc. A very, very inspirational young man. Again, I looked at not only just inspirational people, but also, again, inspirational people here, but also how sport has been used in the army for rehabilitation purposes. Obviously, it has actually been used since World War One, and Blesma, the charity for limbless veterans, very kindly gave me all access to their archives, and you can see there on the left-hand side, their first Blesma Games were in 1961. These are obviously the precursor to the Paralympic Games. Again, using Help for Heroes, and here I've got my favourite sport, hockey for heroes. Demonstrating again the use of ex-military and still playing sport, and providing again more inspiration to people. And obviously we've got the Invictus Games that Prince Harry has brought to the forefront. Oops, sorry. Okay, so what has it done for us really? Well, sport's always been at the heart of British culture. So for us, it unites people whether you play or watch. So people are obviously enjoying, in watching military games as well. It brings people together. It's about teamwork, and again, the army thrives on teamwork, and again, sport provides that as well. Obviously, it's being able to keep fit, striving to be the best that you can, and it promotes physical and mental well-being. Again, that was really highlighted with a lot of the army playing playing sports not only against other regiments but also against civilian teams. And it brings the military and civilians together through a shared love of sport. And you just see here, we just did a sort of like a bit of a word cloud. They're only just these are only just a few of the games that people in the army have played and are very influential in. And I thought I'd leave this one for Richard, seeing as Charlie Faulkner is probably his idol. Again, this is the army rugby team playing against Oxford University, and really the key for me is that the Army's sporting heritage has played a major role in defining how sport can bring people together for a shared cause, so whether it's on the battlefield or the sports field. And that's it. Thank you.